Eatz, where I'm always doing it right. On this channel, I'll show you how to eat the food you love. I'll show you, of course, how to do it in a fashion that's healthy, beneficial to your body, and if you already follow my channel, you know I'll show you how to do it without compromising the flavor or the integrity of the food. And in today's video, you guys, we're going to be getting into another easy crock pot recipe. Only this time, it won't be a main entree recipe. In today's video, we're going to be getting into a more simplified crock pot recipe, and we're going to be using an apple as the main ingredient. Some of you may consider this recipe to be a condiment, a jam, or perhaps maybe even an applesauce. But today I'm going to show you guys how to make one of the best homemade crock pot apple butter recipes. Not only is this apple butter recipe simple and easy, doesn't require many ingredients, but it's also absolutely delicious, and the smell from the ingredients will have your kitchen smelling like Christmas. So please, if you like apples or if you like apple butter and you're looking for a more quicker way to cook it in your kitchen, then don't be shy. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Tap the notification bell below. You can get notified when I upload this crockpot apple butter recipe. And without any further ado, let's get to doing what Lila's Best Eats does best. Let's get into this crockpot apple butter recipe and let's get to doing it right. Okay guys, here are the ingredients needed for the crockpot apple butter. You'll need apples, ground cloves, ground ginger, ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, sea salt, baking soda, granulated sugar, light brown sugar, some water, and vanilla extract. For the exact measurement ingredients, you'll need 7 HoneyCrisp apples or any sweet apple of your choice, 1/8 of a teaspoon of sea salt, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of light brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 4 cups of warm water, 2 teaspoons of sea salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Okay guys, in the first step, I'm going to show you how to remove the wax from the apples. First, start by pouring the warm water into a very large bowl, then add the sea salt and baking soda. Stir these two ingredients together until they both have completely dissolved, then add the apples. Set the apples aside and allow them to soak for 5 minutes, turning them intermittently. Use a new clean toothbrush to scrub the exterior of the apple to remove the wax, then use a paper towel to dry and wipe the apple clean. Once the apple is clean, here's the result. The exterior should be vibrant, shiny, and free of any wax. In the next step, slice the apple away from the core, then slice the apple into 1-inch thick wedges, then dice the apple into small bite-sized pieces and transfer the diced apple into a bowl and repeat the process. Once all of the apples have been diced, here's what the final result should look like. Next, transfer the apples into the crock pot, followed by the sea salt, ground cinnamon, ground ginger, ground cloves, ground nutmeg, vanilla extract, granulated sugar, and light brown sugar. Fold these ingredients into the apples until all of the apples have been evenly coated. Then place the lid on top of the crock pot, set the temperature to low, and allow the apples to cook for 4 hours. After 4 hours, turn the crock pot off, remove the lid, and incorporate the apples from the top to the bottom of the crock pot. Use an electric hand blender to blend the apples into a coarse puree, then add the water and continue to blend until you have a smooth texture. Use a silicone spatula to scrape the apple butter from the sides of the crock pot. Place the lid back on top, set the temperature back to low, and allow the apples to cook for another 2 hours until the sauce has thickened. Once the apple butter is done, turn the crock pot off, remove the lid, and give the apple butter one last stir. Here's the final result of what the apple butter should look like once it's done. It should have the consistency of applesauce, and it should have your kitchen and other rooms in the house smelling like the holidays. In the next step, transfer the apple butter from the crock pot into another bowl and set the bowl aside to allow the apple butter to slightly cool. Then transfer the slightly cooled apple butter into a measuring cup and then transfer it again into a mason jar. Place the lid on top, screw the cap on tightly, and place it into the refrigerator to store for 30 days or vacuum seal and store in your freezer for up to 30 days. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share my content, let people know Lila's Best Eats is always doing it right. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys again next time. Happy holidays!